Today is January 15th. My ET friends have shown me that tomorrow, January 16th, is a massive tipping point that starts an irreversible descent of the elites that will last for the rest of this year. By the end of 2026, the social and political structure of Earth will have irreversibly shifted. But there is a reason that this is happening now. We are about to enter a once-in-a-generation astrological event where the planets are locking into a configuration that has only occurred in history when powerful regimes suddenly fall. However, on January 16th of 2026, this astrological event results in the end of a series of world regime changes that results in a terminal frequency where these types of regimes never rise to power again. The world does a 180 flip that starts a new epoch of change. Now, while the elites are going to retreat into their own false matrix hell of their own design, a new force is rising. The ancients called them the seed people. These are the people who will marshal the massive power of their intentions to literally rewrite the code of this matrix to create a new world of peace, joy, and authenticity. Your DNA right now is being activated by the sun's rays to hold the frequency of this new earth. They want to block the sun for this very reason. In today's video, I will share with you the details of tomorrow's energetic tipping point event, which will create the four-stage demise of the elites that will last all of this year. In future videos, if you'd like, put it in the comments. I will be happy to go into depth looking at the astronomical and spiritual events that are creating this shift into a new epoch. But for today's shorter video, I'm going to look at the energetic signatures that are happening that has been revealed to me by my extraterrestrial friends that is going to result in a four-stage collapse of the elites. And I'm going to look at the specific blueprint for the rise of the seed people. You ready? All right, let's go ahead and get into it. So here are the four inescapable forces destroying the elites. Number one, their social matrix construct is terminally unsustainable. So this is becoming pretty obvious. I'm actually blown away. I've known that this was coming, but as I'm watching the events, I'm not going to get into details, but as I'm watching the events of my own government's actions that go completely against everything I've been taught to believe about what this country was designed to be. As I look at that, I am shocked at the absolute lunacy of it. The actions that are being taken by the elites worldwide, their massive panic grab for power, land, and resources, and their massive, crazy, panicked attempt to enslave, control, and manipulate human beings is off the charts. These are the actions of somebody that has completely lost control. These are the actions of a frightened child, desperately grasping to hold on to their toys. So anybody can see that what is happening is unsustainable. Up until this point, what has been presented to us by our countries, our governments, is that the things that they do, even the negative things like launching wars and whatever else we experience negatively, when they come to us and try to explain to us why they do it, it's always given as we're doing this to save society, to save democracy. This is for your good. Thank you for your service, we say to the people who go out there and are forced to fight these wars. And in my lifetime, there hasn't been one war that has resulted in anything other than further decay and craziness and chaos and pain on this planet. We might be able to go back and look at maybe World War II, what they fought for, democracy, blah, blah, blah. But when you look at what's happening now, this isn't sustainable. Now, here's the thing. The elites know this. And so why would they go after something that wasn't sustainable? Well, this is what happens when somebody knows that their time is limited. They're panicking. And they are showing us that they're not doing it for our benefit. That's what they've been telling us. We do this to save democracy. We do this to save the economy. We do this to save humanity. That's what they've always been saying. They can't say that anymore. Even if they try, it falls flat. So they know that you know what they're doing. So that means that they are now very clear that they're saying, yeah, we are going to take everything that you have and we are going to consume it as fast as possible while we can, because we know that this ship is sinking. So number one, their social matrix construct is terminally unsustainable. I use the word social matrix because it's not just politics. It's the social matrix by which societies are held together. Again, I'm old enough to remember post-World War II. People call me a boomer. I was born in 1963. There was all of this hope because the economy had shifted considerably. And what it was the beginning of the benefits of a Ponzi scheme. So a Ponzi scheme in the beginning always works out well for everybody. And that's what was happening. So the United States economy and Western economies were benefiting greatly, but it was just the beginning of the Ponzi scheme. We've now come to the end. At the end of the Ponzi scheme, there's no more money left to keep throwing at people to make them think that you have something to give them. It's all gone. And so what do the creators of Ponzi schemes do? They take whatever money is left and they leave. They take your money and they take off. And you'll never see them again. That is what's happening. That's what you're seeing right now. This social construct, the economic construct, the political construct is completely unsustainable, and they know it. Number two, the black hole psyche of the elites is collapsing in on itself. So the only way that narcissists can function is if they have somebody that they can feed off of. By the way, this is why people understandably and rightfully believe that there are higher dimensional archons in the ethers who trap you into reincarnation and feed off of your soul. This is what every single culture has done when they have actual human beings that do this to them. What they do when you're in that kind of traumatic, abusive scenario, when you go into a state of self-protection, what ends up happening is you spiritualize it, because if you were to look at the person right in front of you doing it, it would be intolerable. Children do this. So what's happening, and what has been happening for the past 2,000 years, starting with the Gnostic religions, is that people have been spiritualizing what is actually happening to them right in their physical presence. The physical human elites who are now openly destroying the world, destroying your resources, destroying your society, your ability to live. That has become so obvious now that you can understand that the feelings that we've had, that we project into the ether saying that light beings are doing it to us, false beings of light. No, it's human beings. And those human beings are coming down. They will fall right in front of your face. Watch. Remember that I told you. It's happening now. So their black hole psyche is collapsing in on itself. Narcissists, the only way they can function is by feeding off of others. And the way that they do that is they literally physically feed off of your energy. Spiritually, they feed off of your energy. Psychologically, they feed off of your energy. And what they do is They make you feel small, they make you feel insignificant, and they tell you that you don't have any value, that you don't have any worth, that you don't deserve to exist. Then they tell you that your only function is to serve me, to serve the state, to serve the cult leader. There's no difference. Narcissism is narcissism. And narcissists are people who have been so damaged psychologically from birth, as you're now finding out what's happening to, we're seeing this, that there are levels of elites. There's that the children of the elites are taken into horrific situations and horrible things happen to them. And when it happens to somebody from the age of 0 to age 4, when a person is traumatized at that psychological level, they never recover. This is done on purpose. This is how you create the future elites. This is how you create the future narcissist physical archons. By the way, the word archon is just a Greek word that means rulers. It doesn't mean spiritual beings of light. So when people throw out the word archons, you're actually talking about the human leaders that are ruling this world. Anarchy means no rulers. Patriarchy means rule of the male class. Matriarchy means rule of the female class, the mothers. So the archons are human beings, and now they're being revealed as who they are, and they are coming down. Their narcissistic psyche, the black hole within them, is now beginning to consume them because there's nothing more to consume from human beings. And as human beings begin to wake up and begin to realize that they are the ones that have direct access to the light from their soul, when human beings start to realize that they are the holographic projection of the source of God, being made in God's image, however you want to look at it. When they realize that, you cannot be consumed, you cannot be enslaved, you cannot be manipulated, you cannot be controlled. This is happening at an alarming rate, and the narcissists have nothing left to feed on. So their psyche is beginning to collapse in on itself, which means they will be incapable of thinking clearly. What has helped them is that when they have that access to your energy, to your power, to your subservience, that it gives them a feeling of they're going to survive, and then they can think clearly and they can start planning out their schemes. But now they're starving to death, and so they're not thinking clearly, which means that what they do is going to fail. Let's move on. Number 3, the Earth's frequency is creating a terminal sine wave in their auras. So not only is all of this happening in the way that I just described, but simply on an energetic level. Again, this is why there are literally, the UK has a national scientific project to block out the sun. They're open about it because the sun's rays is shifting not just our DNA, it's shifting their DNA. It's shifting the body's ability to incorporate a higher frequency. Now, all human beings are going to go through a spiritual death as a result of this. But there's only 2 responses to the energy that's hitting you. The one is to relax into it, which means die to your attachments, die to your addictions to the 3rd dimension, die to your addictions to money, to fame, to popularity, technology. You have to die to this in order to awaken to a higher spiritual experience. I've been going through it. I know you're going through it. Everybody's going through it. So you either choose to go through this spiritual death, which is symbolized by the death and resurrection of the Messiah, symbolized by Odin, Vili, and Ve, symbolized by Shiva, Brahma, and Vishnu. It's symbolized all over the world in all kinds of spiritual practices. Death, going down to the underworld, dying to your attachments, and rising again. So that's one way. The other way is to try and hold on. Now, what's going to happen as they try and hold on? It's going to pull them deeper into their own self-created matrix hell. All right, so the Earth frequency is creating a terminal sine wave in the auras of the elites. And I just said, in order to maintain their reality, they will choose to retreat into deeper, false matrix of their own design, and that is literally a hell. And hell is nothing more than being separated from the power of spirit. So our planet has been in a temporary shift. The ancients called it the yugas. We have been in what's called Kali Yuga, or the age of darkness. We've been moving out of that very slowly. But what's happening right now, I can get into this. If you want me to get into the specifics, I can show you exactly where we're at an opposite angle of where the world fell from the golden age 13,000 years ago. We are at the exact opposite juncture of that, where we are going to come crashing up through the dark age into an age, once again, a golden age. I can show you that. Put it in the comments if you want me to show you that. But we are at that. It's happening this year. And for the rest of this year, remember that I told you this. For the rest of this year, you're going to see things continue to increase. Again, just in the past week, 2 weeks, what I've seen, knowing that this is coming, what I've seen in my own government has absolutely flabbergasted me. That they're moving so fast, explosively, into this narcissistic, destructive phase, that it's become very clear. We are heading into a new reality. And if you want me to talk about it more, put it in the comments. I will talk to you about what is really going on with objects like 3i Atlas, what has been happening behind the scenes on higher dimensional levels, what the ETs have been doing, what they've been showing me, and what you have been doing. There are people listening to me right now who have been shifting this reality from higher dimensions when you're in your dream states, when you're in your meditative states, when you're doing what we do twice a week. We did one last night. We do these live guided interdimensional meditations, that you, the seed people, are actually shifting this reality from behind the curtain. And so if you want me to make videos explaining exactly how that's happening and what the ETs have shown me about that, and if you want me to tell you again who the ETs actually are and what the nature of Earth is, all of these things are completely opposite from everything that you've been told. Some religions, like the Vedic religion, scratch at the surface and get close, but even they don't even come anywhere near the truth of what you really are and what is happening. Lastly, I'm going to close with this. The seed people are called the seed people because they have the ability to hold within them the seeds of a new reality. And number two, they have the ability to plant those seeds into the current matrix, which then takes over and creates a new reality. This is what's happening. This is who you are. So if you want more access to practices that will give you the ability to hold on to this new frequency we're talking about, I've got websites here, thunderwizard.com. Go to the shop. The easiest way to go, if you're brand new to my channel and you want to feel the most powerful energy that allows you to connect directly to higher dimensional beings, go to the shop and click on, let me see, there it is. Go to the bottom there. You see Mao Shan Summoning the Immortals Moving Qigong. It's very inexpensive. Go ahead and start with that. And prove me wrong. My challenge to you is, I'm telling you that if you do these practices, you are going to feel a massive energy shift. But I don't expect you to believe me. I want you to prove me wrong. And the way you do that is you have to actually do the practice to find out whether or not I'm telling you the truth. So go ahead, find out for yourself. By the way, everything that I teach, everything that I speak on is not something that I read in a book or that I heard from some podcaster or I'm trying to tap into what is hip and popular. I'm telling you from my own personal experience. Even if they're things that I've read in ancient manuscripts or in ancient religions, I go out and I prove it. And once I can physically prove it, then I come back and I share it with you. That is what I'm sharing with you right now. These 4 things I've been shown by higher dimensional beings, but I've also been able to prove it energetically within myself and within my own experience. So you go to thunderwizard.com, click on shop if you want to get access to practices. If you want to have a very simple practice that allows you on a daily basis. So some of you are coming to me and you're, let's be honest, you've been through hell. Physically, emotionally, psychologically, you might not be ready to do some of these high level energy practices. You may need to just fix your body. Maybe you need to get off drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, weed. You might need to get your body together and your mind together. You might be in so much emotional pain you don't know where to start. So for that, we have here thunderwizard.com. Click on memberships, and we have the Warrior 90-day lightning qigong. Let me see if I can find that. It's around here somewhere. Yeah, so you scroll around and you see Warrior 90-day lightning qigong. You click on that. Just follow the instructions. Follow the video instructions, and there's 3 phases of it. I guarantee you your body will shift. But no matter who you are, even if you don't want to get involved in any of those things, subscribe to this channel, hit the notification button, because every week, twice a week, we do live guided interdimensional meditations where I take you into the astral realm. And if you have a sincere heart and you come at this with an open mind, I guarantee you can make connections. You can have contact. You might even be able to see beings in the sky. This is going to increase. Open contact is here, and when we start shifting our frequency and our perception to a higher vibration, you're going to start seeing these beings. You're going to start seeing them in your physical reality. Remember that I told you this. This year is going to be a year where this will begin to increase. All right? So a lot more to come. Put your questions in the comments. I read all of the comments. If they're interesting and respectful, I respond to them. And if enough people ask me for the same thing, I will make certain videos. So that's it for now, my friend. Please be very good to yourself. I love you, and I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.